Do you need me to say it? Do you want me to say it again?
Sure.
So, have you had visitors or whomever come in, tourists come in, get recommendations or anything, and then come back through and explain,
How much they loved it. The recommendations were well received. We have 18 visitors up front that will take a shift, a 2-hour, 3-hour shift, sorry about that, 3-hour shift every day, and they're just there to be part of the community. They love to share some of their experiences with our businesses, of the different places they've gone, and then where to go out and eat. And it's fun when those visitors come back in. Well, we did this yesterday, we did that, and everything you said was great. Now what else should we take in? So they really turn to us as a go-to type of organization as well. And again, that really satisfies our mission because it's promoting our businesses. Because the day they decide to move here, they've already had experience with us as a trusted resource. So they'll come back and then ask us about those businesses of who they could trust and use as a resource.
Making everybody's vacation better.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of trends are you noticing with local businesses? And has the chamber been able to help out with any of those trends or issues that are showing up now?
Mm-hmm. Trends and challenges. Right now, I would say not only in our area, but probably across the country is workforce. The toughest thing is getting employees. When COVID hit, there were so many folks that went out of the workforce, and it was pretty much the women, because who got to stay home with the kids were moms. And we haven't brought all of them back into our workforce just yet. So we have collaborated with the Early Learning Childhood Coalition. And in fact, tomorrow at the Chamber, we'll be having a session with Representative Fiona McFarland. The state has put in different resources for our businesses that if they can work with figuring out how to have a daycare within their business, or if they have a business within a local area that's willing to open up a room and take in kids, it will help other businesses because the child's going to be somewhere that the parent knows. And with the state having those resources now, it's just getting that out to our businesses, and that's something that's going to happen tomorrow. So workforce is the issue. Of course, workforce housing is everywhere. There's not a silver bullet for that yet to take care of it, unfortunately. Yes, we have a lot of building going on here. It's a little bit of a higher price. Our businesses are trying to help with that, with uptraining our workforce and being able to promote from within to pay them more. So workforce, childcare, affordable housing, those are the trends, and we're right at the fighting edge trying to get everything for our businesses to be better and to get those resources to them to be able to use.
How about, this is just me thinking about this, but there's a lot of drive in the past, probably even 10 years for, shopping online. And so has there been any resources or anything to help businesses kind of get people here? Because these businesses aren't necessarily, we're not Amazon, but is there anything that, classes or anything that you guys have done to help with how to target that?
So we have a program that we started, a Mind Your Business series, Mind Your Business. And we're fortunate to have some amazing businesses right here that are willing to share their expertise, whether it's helping you be able to sell your brand, to define your brand so you could communicate it better. We have them that can help you with your marketing. They're all willing to come in and help other businesses improve and get better so they could tackle those challenges of getting the word out that you can get that item right here, and it'll be worth your time to come into whether it's our retail store, to come into our location and buy it right here. And because online is tough, and then you have some businesses that are looking to grow, to have several of the same business within a closer proximity. so that it's even closer for someone to leave their home and get to that product that they're looking for.
How have you guys how has the chamber worked with either other organizations or government or regional chambers to achieve kind of goals for you guys?
So collaboration with Sarasota County, the city of Venice. There's seven chambers of commerce in Sarasota County. And when you've seen one chamber, you've seen one chamber. We couldn't be more different from each other. When you look at Siesta Key, they're definitely 100% tourism. But they come into the chamber to find out what to do. The Greater Sarasota Chamber, totally different clientele. You have much larger businesses in the Sarasota proper. You get into the middle of the county where the Venice Area Chamber of Commerce is. I say we're like the medium to small businesses, so totally different type of clientele. Then you get into Northport and Inglewood, and it's really, they are the business. I would say the collaboration is just the communication and the collaboration with each other of what are you doing. The chamber execs have definitely met. We've met several times to see how do we work together. We do different events together that we will bring businesses. In fact, next week, we have what we call our tri-chamber network, our tri-chamber business connection. It'll be where we bring Northport, Inglewood, and the Venice chamber members together. So how cool is it to get to know someone right in your neighbor's backyard that they can recommend somebody else? When I started here, my maid service, I got to know two of my other competitors, but they ended up being some of my best friends, because if I, as a business person, couldn't take care of a customer, I knew I could recommend them in good faith and know they're going to take care of that customer as well as I would. And the reverse is the same, that if they couldn't take care of someone, they could have the confidence in me to take care of them. So it helps the business community by knowing other businesses that do the same thing as you. And yet might be something that you do a little differently, or you don't do one service, but the other one does. How good does that make a business look to be able to recommend their colleague in the same field to take care of them and know they're strong enough to have it come back to them? That's what makes a community and a business community even stronger.
And I think a lot of the businesses here, like you said, serve multiple areas. So.
Yes, and so many businesses are members of several chambers. 30 years ago, when I had the maid service, I was a member of 4 chambers because that's where my business worked. And so you have to support that community. You have to support that business community so that they can thrive. Through a chamber with education programs, things like that, it's just going to help every business.
I want to go back. We talked about, kind of going through COVID and the pandemic. But I meant to ask earlier, as far as like natural disaster, you had said that you guys are kind of like the go-to for people. When a natural, we'll say a hurricane or something like that occurs, what's the process? What can people do, and what kind of information can they get from you guys that might be able to help them?
There's several things. When there is a disaster, a lot of folks are not sure who to turn to or what, and it's interesting how we do get those phone calls. So we can walk them, and we answer the phone. That's one of the biggest things that people, I think that's why they call, because someone will answer and then help them get to what they need. We might not be the answer, but we can get them to the answer. And that might be getting to the resource of the county to know, when are the trucks coming out to take care of all of this debris? When can I put whatever out that got spoiled during the storm? The city was phenomenal when it came to keeping us up to date so we could get that out to the businesses, because usually the business services are a little different from the residential, but even the residents calling. So it's just being that contact. The process is really making sure we know what's going on from the state to the county to our city local level, and being able to share that.
And it sounds like you guys are both good go-to.
Yes, we are. Do take pride in that, because we also, one of the great things is that we put it down into a nutshell, so that when we're communicating that information out, it's really saying, this is what this is about. If you need to know more, dig a little deeper. So it's not having you go through all this and then realize, oh, that's not what I needed. So we kind of do the legwork first and then be able to share that information.
That's awesome. What's your vision for the future of the Venice area, and how do you see the chamber playing a role in that?
So my question on that, sorry.
You're good.
Was this the vision that was going to be my legacy, my future?
No, this is 13. So what's the vision of the future of the Venice area, and how would the chamber? To couple up from that.
Okay. So the future of the chamber being the catalyst of creating a thriving, vibrant, prosperous business community is a major goal for us. And by doing that, it's being the resource to come to whenever something's going on. Who's going to know? Who's going to be able to take the lead and make a difference? And that will be the Chamber of Commerce.
How would you personally describe your leadership style?
My leadership style. So I was born and raised in the Bronx, so sometimes the attitude comes out. I'm the type of person that I don't believe in status quo. I'm not the one that believes in, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm one who believes in, let's break that down and see how we can build it back and make it better. What can we do and make it better? There's always the guidelines of, does it, meet the mission of what the chamber's about? Does it make our businesses better? And it's not just doing something to do it. It definitely has to have that purpose and has to have that end goal in mind, and that's meeting the mission. So that's my leadership style. It's kind of the rules. It's fun breaking the rules sometimes, but it's following them to the best to make things even better.
And what efforts have been made by the chamber to kind of grow and diversify the membership that we have, or attract new members?
So chambers today cannot live on membership dues alone. So diversifying the income is what we need to do in order to even survive. To keep us relevant, we have to be helping our businesses. And that's something we have done through educational programs, through, as I said earlier, through our leadership programs, that giving them the resources and the tools they need to be a thriving, vibrant, prosperous business. And when we have that, it just helps the community. It reflects within the community that that's what we're all about. Did that answer everything?
No,
okay.
Yeah, that's good. Looking back on your time as president, what do you hope your legacy will be when people look back in 20, 30, 40 years? What do you hope they get from that?
Okay, I wrote those things down. It's hard, it's strange thinking of your own legacy, because what does legacy mean? It has so many different definitions, whether it's your family, whether it's your business, whether it's your community. So mine being the Chamber of Commerce, and my legacy will be would be my wish that knowing that I built a team that could take care of carrying on the mission of what has to happen for the businesses in our community, to know that I will leave the chamber in a better place than I originally got it, and just taking it to the next level. I'm never one, if you're just status quo and you're just kind of level and keeping everything, you're really sinking. So it's always paddling forward to paddle up and taking it to the next level. That's what I would say to my successor, is never sit on your laurels. It's never be satisfied. There's always more to do, and you just have to ask around and see what people need, and that's what you could take care of.
This is kind of off the cusp, but you're about to celebrate the centennial this upcoming year. What are you most looking forward to with that?
So celebrating 100 years, and I'm just thankful I'm not 100. I hope to get to that one day. But knowing that an organization has been around that long, and the accomplishment that the Venice Area Chamber of Commerce has been able to do in these 100 years, it really makes you feel proud to be part of it. The next year looks exciting. Just celebrating our businesses out there, bringing them together. We're going to bring them together for lunch. Come by the chamber one day. Just it's outside because, with over 1,000 members, where are you going to put them? But then we hope then in the fall, in September of 2025, to really come together for a big celebration, a formal celebration that is the Venice area style, which is always fun. Because if you're not having fun, it's not worth it. And when you're having fun, things just feel better and they get better. So that'll be the gala in the fall. And I'm not sure we're calling it a gala, but it will be a formal celebration, I guess is what I should call it. The formal celebration, what that will look like is still to be determined. But again, Venice style, it'll be fun.
And then last thing I just thought of, can you think of any time where a business, maybe even a struggling business or a business has come in and the chamber, like just being a member of the chamber and the connections it produces has just turned the business around, or just profoundly helped?
Okay, so there was one business that came in a couple of years ago, and we just knew it as organic gardening. And with that, she didn't even know, what do I do? What do I say? And it was kind of fun to bring her into a group of folks and just start sharing what she does. And it was, in fact, one of the team, Andrea, who did her 30-second commercial. And seeing her business, and again, no pun intended, is kind of like Babby, because of her gardening, it flourished. And she has been busy ever since. So the biggest challenge I would say the chamber has is helping those businesses succeed. And then all of a sudden the business thinks, I don't need the chamber anymore. It's not always about just helping your business grow. It's a family, in a way, a business family, that we might not help you directly, but because you're part of us, we're able to help someone else. And that's what it's all about. It's the community, the business community, which is a very strong community in our area.
Is there anything else you want to share? Any fun stories you can think of?
Oh, back to the fun story. I have some embarrassing ones, but let me just look. I didn't have fun. I talked about really leadership, real world. Thanks for bringing up Business of the Year. Education programs team. I didn't talk about our nonprofit rally. So, okay, I would like, that could be fun. Dog hair on me, or is that my blonde hair? Okay, so fun. All right. So one of my favorite things that I look at as being a great opportunity for our community, it's a fun day that we call Nonprofit Rally. After 25 years of being in the real estate world and seeing new people come into our community, buying a home, how many times did I hear, how do I get involved? So people moving here, they want to be involved. So having been around the chamber long enough, knowing the different organizations in the community, I was able to share and try to figure out what they liked and how to help guide them to a different organization or so. But when I came to the chamber, that was something I realized we could do, that we could connect that community, the newer community, or even those who are retiring. That's the exciting part. People who have lived here their whole life, and now they're retiring, and then they're saying, well, what do I do now? So it's very challenging to walk into a nonprofit, hear all about what they do, and do you really think you're going to be able to just walk out? So if it's not a perfect alignment, how can you figure that one out? So thus the nonprofit rally. And what that does, we opened our parking lot. It's nice to have 40 to almost 50 nonprofits, and believe me, we have 3 times that. We have double that in membership alone within the chamber, let alone the community itself. But 40 to 50 nonprofits out in the parking lot and have the community come, and it's kind of speed dating for a nonprofit. You know, do I like you? Tell me what you do. Is that something I would like to do? And then you move on to the next one. And by having that for the past few years, every year our survey coming back from those nonprofits have said, we got new volunteers. And that's what they need, because as they've said, a volunteer today is a donor tomorrow. And it just builds that community. And we don't have thousands of people coming through, believe me, because it's not a expo or a rally that you're coming and you're getting all these goodies and going away and never seeing them again. You're coming and you're the prize. You're the present to that nonprofit, and you'll be the next one to make a difference in someone's life. So that's one of the fun things we get to do. That's a day that we're outside running around, meeting so many new people and hearing the different things that our community offers that you'd be surprised.
Your community is truly a giving one.
Absolutely. They're very, very philanthropic community.
I did think of an extra question if I could jump in. And it's actually kind of going back to the beginning of the chamber that I don't think we touched on. How many members are there in the Venice Area Chamber of Commerce? So just so that we can add that little bit into the edit itself.
Okay.
And what are the ranges of different businesses? I know it's for all businesses, but from your experience, who have you met going through the chamber?
Okay. So the Venice Area Chamber of Commerce consists of about 1,000 members with over a 35,000 employee reach. We have small businesses ranging from just a one-person handyman to PGT. And PGT is kind of exciting to know that Rod Hirschberger and his partner started out on Center Court with vinyl windows, a very small business, and look at it today. So it's inspiring that our businesses can range from that one person to now they have thousands of employees all over the country, and it started here. So if you dream it, it can happen, and we're living proof of that.
I think that is all the questions I have.
That's
really
fun.
Appreciate you doing this.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Super excited.
You made it very easy.
Project.
You know, it's funny, when I interviewed for the job, like I said, it was the first time in 30 years I even interviewed, and I take every question. I do horrible on test. I really do, because I put too much into it. I read too much into the question. The first question they asked me at my interview was, you know, this is a very confidential type of position. How are you going to tell us about a time that you had to deal with something that was confidential? And I sat there for the longest time because I just tried to think, how am I going to give them an example?
Like it's
You know,
confidential.
and that was the whole point, but it took me forever to say that because I'm trying to run through a story that I could share with them. Did I go back to 25 years of real estate saying, okay, you want to buy a house, you're willing to pay how much? All right, well, I can't tell the other party that because that is confidential and it would hinder your negotiation, and vice versa. You know, I'm selling my house and this is what my bottom line is. I didn't go there, which should have been my, knee-jerk reaction. And finally, after a few minutes, and I know one of them told me after, thought, Kath, you're going to blow this if you don't answer this. It was really nice that she told me that after. But it took me that long to finally come out and say, you realize you're asking me to try to tell you something confidential. How doesn't that blow the whole confidentiality part? After that, it was a much more comfortable interview. And then here I am today. So
You got over the part of it.
yeah, that was the tough one. So after that, then I kind of, the New Yorker stepped in. Then I was asking the questions.